This is Peter at his job as a support worker.
That's gonna make you big and strong. Burping time. Oh, smells like someone needs to be changed.
And here's Peter somehow doing an even worse job as a family doctor.
Well, I got the results of your ultrasound.
Wait. We don't want to know if it's a boy or a girl.
Oh, okay.
Look, guys, I'll say it straight. Despite how terrible he is at his jobs, you cannot beat Peter Griffin's resume. This man has stacked up more jobs than a Craigslist scammer. From legitimate work to questionable work to downright illegal jobs, this man has done it all. So today, we're diving into every job Peter has ever held, starting with his brief stint working at a zoo. In the episode Con Heiress, we learned that Peter had a job as a zookeeper, but not just any zookeeper.
This is my friend Frederick, and I'm sure you're all wondering how much I can squat. For that answer, you'll have to go to my Instagram, yourthiness99.
Why do I feel like one of the writers went to the zoo and couldn't stop oogling the zookeeper's thighs and wrote this extended joke about it?
Now, who wants to see me jump over this fence from a standing start? Look out, elephants!
Peter seems to enjoy spending time around animals, so it's no surprise that for his next job, he had to create a special animal character. Everyone has to have something they're remembered for, like how everyone remembers insert famous person here for doing that embarrassing thing that one time. Peter was also searching for his own legacy. His first shot for the skies was quite literal. He became an inventor.
And I gotta do something people will remember me for, which is why I've invented a new type of flying machine.
You could have consulted with the Wright brothers first and taken notes, Petey. But Peter was not giving up. For his next legacy, he was going to protect the environment at all costs, and he had the perfect character to do it with.
Pick up your trash! I want to know whose cup this is! Pick it up! Thank you, sweetie.
Poor kids are gonna look at trash cans the way war veterans look at fireworks. Peter's also had his fun being a mascot for a whole different cause, a cause he had spent 75% of his life being committed to. Peter works at Pawtucket Brewery, and with all that beer around him, it's his favorite place to be.
We just ask that you don't drink during your shift.
That won't be a problem, sir.
Great. Well, I'll be right back with your ID badge. Mr. Griffin, what happened to your pants?
Oh, look who's here, mister. I don't have time for your Little League games. Come here, you son of a...
This man has some serious unresolved baggage. So far, working at the brewery has been Peter's longest running job, but he's had some varying roles, like in the episode Pawtucket Pete. Peter's new bosses give him the exact kind of job he deserves.
So, we're gonna put a flag on you.
Well, at least make sure all the liquids are gone.
It's either they could tell he's had a good working history with trash, or maybe that was their indirect way of calling him trash. In this case, both truths can perfectly coexist. Peter hated being a trash collector. To him, no job had ever felt more humiliating. Well, there is that one that was almost as bad.
Hey, what? Pick that up. Pick what up? That was there. No, you were looking at your phone.
Hold up, I'd like to pause the entire video to ask, anyone ever thought about what dinosaur dung looked like? I didn't. I preferred my life before that. Peter's new bosses still had newer roles they wanted him to fill, though. Sales were dropping, mostly because no one could relate to their mascot. They needed someone fresh, relatable, someone who's a disgusting alcoholic. And they found the perfect guy.
Killer guy. You know, a guy who'd drink a beer on a toilet. Griffin?
No.
What are you doing?
Playing a game on my phone and having a beer.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
That's right. He was born just for this. If he took a test, I bet you he has more beer than blood in his system. Peter was just super glad to be doing his job. He quickly went home to his wife to share the news and also showed them the commercial he did as the new mascot.
The perfect beer for New England beaches. Pawtucket Patriot.
Peter was the new Pawtucket Pat, and that came with all the fun PR stuff, like throwing the first pitch at a baseball game.
Please kill me. Still buy the beer, though.
This, boys and girls, is what decades of chugging alcohol and sitting on the couch will do to you. Brian also got in on the mascot game. They called him Hops the dog, and he quickly became more popular than Peter.
And I want to huck a loogie in your face.
I want you to autograph my stomach.
Okay, fine, but don't spit on my friend. Hey, Brian, why don't you mind your own business?
Look at that. A win-win situation. Despite being incapable of tossing a baseball, Peter has had his time as an athlete. This all started when Peter went for his high school reunion and drank one too many beers.
I'm about to throw up.
That's the best audition you can give to be considered for a spot on the football team. Luckily for him, Tom Brady was watching, and he gets a job playing for the New England Patriots. And like all football stars, life was great.
What do you think, eh? All right, enough messing around, huh? Let's play this game.
But trust Peter to ruin a good thing for him and his family. He could not keep his ego in check.
Yeah!
Huh, there might be some hope for this guy after all. Damn it, Griffin! I said no showboating!
I don't need to hear the rest of the lyrics of that song to know his butt was getting fired. The Patriots was just the start for him. There were other teams lining up to pick him. Scratch that, no one was going near him with a 10-foot pole, actually. The only team that was willing to take him was some rundown team called the London Silly Nannies.
Peter Griffin, I'm your new player.
Oh, yes, Peter. Welcome to the Silly Nannies. I'm the quarterback, Leslie. This is our team.
Are these football players or choir boys that just passed through puberty? Peter decided that the best way to keep these softies in check was to give them a good opponent to play against, so he set up a match between them and the Patriots. It was the best way to make the boys into cold-blooded men. Or just give them steroids.
So you're gonna get in shape the way American athletes do, by taking steroids.
You give me that dirty look one more time and I have a good mind to get into my PJs and have a pillow fight with you.
These are the people that were supposed to face off against the Patriots. By the time the game began, they all vanished. Peter had to stand alone and fight, but seeing how he isn't the Hulk, things didn't end great for him.
Well, I'm still here, you bastards, so let's do this.
That taught him a humble lesson. Now, there are three things in Peter's life that qualify as enormous: his size, his ego, and the truckload of stupidity that follows him everywhere he goes. It's a cocktail for disaster in any situation. But I still can't figure out how people are handing out jobs to this dude like it's some lollipop at a kid's party. In the episode Peter Problem, Peter was given a new job role, and my man was more than excited about it.
Actually came to tell you that you're being promoted to forklift operator, which means you'll be receiving a 5% raise.
It's pretty cool working a forklift, but the downside to the job is Peter will always get carried away. And if you placed a bet on Peter getting fired after wrecking everywhere, you'd be smiling to the bank by now, buddy. The consequence of losing the job meant Lois had to step up to handle the breadwinning, and Peter wasn't just going to lie home and drink beer. He was going to be the one to take charge of keeping the home as a house husband. And yes, that counts as a job. We've come that far as a society to finally acknowledge this. And for Peter, the job was not supposed to be as easy as a walk in the park or his work in a bowling alley.
Yes, we're open. Oh, yes, we have a wide selection of balls that are way too heavy or have too small finger holes.
Ah, I see. Well, if you think it's such an easy job fixing breakfast, changing diapers, cleaning kitchen counters, and fetching groceries, how about you do it, Peter?
All right, I've made contact with your undercarriage. I am moving it upwards with a cupped hand, and we're done.
That was intense.
Okay, he made it through the diaper change. How about fixing dinner?
Holy crap! Oh, my God. And that also means...
Get this man out of that house ASAP. He eventually adjusted to his house husband job, but it came at a cost. His other duties in the husband department had, a little problem.
Peter, are you having trouble getting...
Yes, obviously I'm having trouble.
Well, somebody's gotta have sex with me.
Lois, don't say that.
They could find a way to solve that problem, maybe with a chair in the corner, but that's not the focus of my video. Peter has also done some gigs that truly come as a surprise. Imagine how shocked you'd be if you learned that Meg got a deal to model for Victoria's Secret. Exactly, that was my face too. Picture that same shock in finding out Peter has also modeled for Calvin Klein.
What was the name of the bad guy from Tron? This is gonna drive me nuts.
I gotta say, your brand is in perfect hands with Peter. Even if you want him to voice your commercials, he's your guy. He's worked with Cheerios, and believe me, no marketing ad ever gets more real than that.
When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I wanted to be a rock star.
Why didn't you become one?
Because of you, bud.
You'll think that should be at the end of his career doing commercials, but Peter might just be cut out for this type of thing. He's even worked with North Dakota to push out a series of ads for tourism, you know?
Do you like South Dakota but don't want to see Mount Rushmore? Come to North Dakota. It's just a very long drive from wherever you live.
Again, nothing but real talk. I don't know how he landed any of these jobs. The man can barely spell. That's why he lost his job with the electric company. Well, part of the reason why.
Bet.
I knew that. Come on, pal. My first day. Fat. Oh, that's it, buddy.
Now back to when Peter was starting out life, he had a rather humble beginning. He used to work as a towel boy, but good for him. That's how he met his future wife.
Towel boy.
My name is Howell. I have a Peter for you.
See, guys, clearly standards have dropped. Our man Peter's also pulled in good hours working on fighting off paranormal threats. He used to bust ghosts back in the day.
That'll be $27.50.
Now, speaking of ghost busting, in the episode Hefty Shades of Grey, Peter went through the trauma of his life when he suspected his house was haunted, and that whole encounter set him down a whole new career path. So while getting wasted at the Drunken Clam, the guys were looking at how their houses were having better resale. But Peter checked out the same app, and the real estate market was not smiling at him because someone from a time Google never even existed had died in the house. But then these grown men came up with the silliest side quests to go ghost busting. Except none of that paranormal crap was working like they expected, and they just had enough of Peter and his ghost busting skills.
We've been down here for hours and we haven't found a thing.
Well, maybe that's because you guys don't know the first thing about catching ghosts.
You know what? Lois was right. We should just never listen to you. Come on, guys.
I don't know how long he stayed locked in there, but by the time Lois opened the door, the fat man was not just scarred for his life, he was out there looking like Gandalf the Grey.
Peter, are you okay?
I was down there all night.
Oh my God, Peter, your hair, it turned white.
That's perfect gray hair, though. But this is where the whole story just lost its plot. Peter having gray hairs suddenly came with people willing to listen to him now, so basically a Gandalf the Wise sort of thing.
Morning, Doctor.
Wow, Peter, they all think you're a doctor because of your white hair. I have to say, it does make you look more distinguished.
Bro, I need to get old ASAP. Unk! Unk status, can I get an unk in chat? White hair privilege just kept doing its trick for him, and so a company took a look at him and decided he was a good fit to run their commercial.
Confidence of someone who knows he's 12% less likely to suffer a stroke recurrence. Back from. Thank you, Sanguelto.
There's a lesson there, guys. If you're facing unemployment, I think you see the quick hack to fixing it. Take it from Peter. You have no idea where a good gray hair would take you to. I mean, he ended up landing a gig on Quahog News as an analyst.
Now, you were talking about crime.
Crime is way up. And you know why? Because of immigrants. I say, as Americans, we should all take a pledge to kick them out.
Trump would love this guy. You know what? Hold on to that statement for a while. I'm going to circle back to it pretty soon. He crushed his role as an analyst. They made him a frackin' permanent one. And I mean, you can't argue with the words of an analyst. I mean, what have you ever analyzed in your life other than whether to have the leftover lasagna or to order a quick meal on Uber Eats? I choose DoorDash every time. So give Peter his flowers.
Crime is up.
Wow, how high?
All the way to the top.
Oh, the top. Has it ever been all the way to the top before, Peter?
Never. In fact, we had to raise the top. And the middle is a show that was inexplicably on ABC for a very long time.
The top is the middle is the old top. What's with this upside down Stranger Things analysis? But then his very next job came because of how he crushed the analyst scene. Now, when I said to give him his flowers, guess who actually did so? Yeah, Trump absolutely loved his work.
Oh, Donald Trump? You saw me on the news? You want me to be your press secretary in the next episode? Lois, pack your bag. We're joining the Trump administration.
Very valid reaction from Lois. Sure, she was mad at Peter all along for doing the whole analyst thing and reeling out fake stats, but I can bet my hairline that they only made a rip off Peter's head just so they could set up this joke.
Just what Washington needs, huh? Another talking head.
I would make some comments, but I plead the fifth. And so Peter Griffin was off to his new workplace in Washington. The moment Peter arrived in Washington in the episode Trump Guy, President Trump was there to give him the tour of the White House and also give him his job description.
Don't go in there. It's not safe.
Well done, Peter.
Sounds like a simple job, but the perks that came with being the press secretary of the Trump administration were that he got to attend all the fancy dinners and launch parties. Even Meg got her circle upgraded. She got introduced to the president, and she was starstruck. It's not every day you get to stand in the same room with the president of the country.
I'm a huge fan of your board game, and your beef products, and your fraudulent university, and...
The part that's crazy about all this is when Meg reported to her father that she had just been inappropriately touched by the president, Peter was more concerned with defending his job than protecting his own daughter.
President Trump touched me inappropriately.
That's my boss. I spent a whole day working on this.
You just gotta feel bad for Meg. The poor girl honestly does go through a lot. Peter did eventually quit working for Trump. Now, how many of you get to quit your jobs and then beat up your boss on your way out? Because Peter sure did. Game! Back to Peter's extensive career in entertainment, like his history of theater acting. Does okay still mean the same thing? When he isn't playing a character, he's doing very important work off stage.
And my natural response could be to get offended. Then, through no fault of my own, I wouldn't have kept my promise.
Hang on!
Weirdly enough, it's not his only time working with celebrities and helping out with their eyesight.
Yeah, and I need something that pays more than my last job as Sandy Duncan's glass eye. Sandy.
What?
What are you buying?
Some breakfast cereal?
I don't get that. That's a bad cereal.
He's pretty good with instructions, and since you employed the guy, you better just listen to what he says. His time as a magic mirror was pretty much all about that.
Magic mirror, how can I look like a douchebag today?
Well, Kevin, I would say, first of all, don't shave or shower.
Okay, I won't.
Why do all these celebrities keep hiring this guy? He must know some deep, dark Hollywood secrets. At this point, it doesn't matter how weird you may think the job is. They hit up Peter, and he's sure to pull up for you. Just ask Matt Damon.
Hey, is this another one of those movies where you're an educated Boston street tough?
I don't have to take that crap from you, Nick.
Oh, you have to, my friend. I'm your Nick.
It's not even like he's good at the job, but the celebrities keep hiring him.
Thanks so much, Peter. I was getting a little chilly.
No sweat, Lara. Hey, you have yourself a fine sleep.
But speaking of providing heat, Peter has had his own fair share of taking out some, like his time as a rookie firefighter.
Sorry, first day, still learning.
There's being bad at your job, and then there's destroying the laws of physics bad. Speaking of screwing the laws of physics, about the time he became a superhero. If we include superhero as a job, how much money does it bring in? Spider-Man was out there saving his neighborhood and couldn't even afford to pay rent, so I wouldn't get my hopes up. His other jobs that didn't bring in a paycheck is when he had to take over Death's job for a little while.
This is all your fault, and there's only one solution. You have to go out there and do my job. You have to be Death.
That was to maintain the order and balance of the universe according to Death. Sounds like something from a Harry Potter book, but there were no Dementors in this one. Just Peter being a good old Grim Reaper.
Hey, what are you doing? You're not a pilot.
Jeez, I probably should have worn mittens.
You think a safety tool in that line of work would be mittens? But speaking of maintaining order, let's talk about Peter and the law. For someone who has committed an insane amount of murders and crimes in broad daylight even, this man should be behind bars, as we've talked about at extensive length already on his channel. I mean, no one is above the law. But with Peter's next job, my man was not just in charge of the law, he was a Supreme Court justice. In the episode Drunk with Power, Peter was in charge of giving tours to customers at Pawtucket Brewery. I wonder if the flyers had read, "If you love beer so much, come check us out, and Go Hog's top drunk dude will show you around." And sure enough, people turned up. But one person who loved beer way too much didn't just show up, he booked a private tour.
Hello, your Majesty, Peter Griffin.
Hey, just call me Brett. All right, guys, skedaddle.
These two drunkards struck it off. That's why this episode is called Drunk with Power. They guzzled gallons upon gallons of beer, so much so that they soon ran out of ideas on what to do.
Bro, let's see who can get the reddest the fastest.
Seek help at this point, guys. Have you even paused to think of the sort of hangover that you get to deal with now? Hangover was the least of their problems, though. By the time Peter woke up in the morning, he had a whole new life and career.
This is the first time I've ever put clothes on anyone without their consent. Ha ha ha.
And yep, nobody could tell the difference. Off he went to the Supreme Court, and once he got there, he didn't stay quiet to watch how things were done. For a man with an IQ you can count on one finger, he had ideas and policies that were gonna change the world.
People are equal under the law, which is why we must not only ban gay marriage, we have to ban straight marriage.
Gotta say, no discrimination there, at least. It's an equal opportunity hating for all things. Holy matrimony. Now, I don't know which HR department took a look at Peter and thought that he was the best candidate to work as a suicide hotline operator, but that was one of his jobs.
I just can't take it. I discovered my wife's been cheating on me for a while, and I can't live like this. I have to kill myself.
Doesn't it make more sense to kill her?
I think someone needs to get that phone away from him. It's weird that they put this guy in charge of anything, like taking care of someone's home or children, which of course are jobs he's had as well. In the episode Padre de Familia, Peter decided to embody the true American spirit and blame everything on illegal immigrants.
Because he was an illegal immigrant and a threat to our national security.
He was an 85-year-old Korean Buddhist.
Or was he supreme leader of Al-Qaeda?
What Peter totally didn't expect was the plot twist of him being an illegal immigrant himself, born in Mexico, and he only found out right after making a big stink about illegal immigrants at work.
And I cannot stand by while he steals wages and opportunities from citizens. I mean, this is an American company.
So now he was out of a job and falling heavily into debt. Not like he needed the excuse of being an illegal immigrant to be neck deep in debt in the first place, though. Point is, he needed to find work as quickly as humanly possible, at least something an immigrant could do. So he started looking at ads.
Housekeeping.
Come back later, please.
I come in anyway?
No, go away.
Oh my God!
I said no!
Okay, I clean?
No, get out of here!
The mistake was letting him come in there instead of screaming at the top of your lungs for him to get away. The awkwardness that followed was completely their fault, really.
I get involved with lady?
What do you think?
Turn around.
I don't think so.
Hit the gym, dude. She would have said yes if you looked a bit like a model. That didn't work out, shocker, so he checked for other available jobs.
Oh, Jane, I'm ever so excited. Do you suppose she'll be everything we've dreamed? Oh, I do hope so. I've always imagined the most beautiful...
Oh man, someone should arrest Peter and whoever gave him the fracking job in the first place. Peter clearly still needed work to do, and Lois suggested he go talk to her billionaire father for advice. As if Peter's ego and national identity weren't already crushed. He had to destroy the last shreds of his ego by sending him to accept handouts from his father-in-law. But hey, why am I even trying to make a case for Peter? He meets Carter, alright, and the man had quite the proposition for him.
Peter, I'm using you as a house immigrant, so take my family's luggage to their rooms and then go get settled down at the servants' quarters.
Right away, Mr. Pewterschmidt, sir.
Daddy, we don't want any special treatment. We're here as a family, and we're gonna live as a family.
Way to go, Carter. Kick a man further into the ground as he comes to you for help. Very much in character. But Peter had no other options. Not sure any other ad was going to accept him after the Mary Poppins murder on 2 innocent children, so he accepted to be Carter's house servant. And yes, that still counts as a job. Just a really weird one with an even weirder job description.
I don't know, probably.
I don't wanna.
You work for me, now drink it.
No!
Drink my diabetic blood, Peter, or you're fired. Oh, I can't believe you really did that. Oh, that's nasty. You're nasty.
Now that's just disturbing. Anyways, you can't subject a man to such treatment for long, and soon enough, Peter had just about had it. He decides to borrow a page from Malcolm X's playbook and calls out Carter.
Well, no more. Immigrants built this country, and I say it's time for us to take it back. Who's with me?
Could you say whole speech again in Spanish?
Carter got him to call off the protest, though, with a promise that he would get his American citizenship done for him, so everything was back to normal. But I still can't get over the fact that he answered an ad and 2 innocent kids ended up dead. But it's not the only time looking for a job has made him pick up the weirdest ads out there in the newspaper. He once got a job as a test subject for experimental drugs. Nothing so serious or shocking like that, but...
What's this one?
We call this the squirrel gene.
Those paid peanuts. If you wanted the real big bucks, the Benjamin Franklin bills, you needed to move up and take something a lot more experimental.
Are you crazy? I don't want to take a chance on being gay.
We'll give you $125.
All right, I'll do it.
Surely you can't be so broke as to agree. It's fracking less than $100. Bro is some kind of desperate. Dab me up, brother. Peter goes home to his family, and of course they can sense that something just isn't right.
Titus vaccine, a couple of steroids, the gay gene, calcium, a vitamin B extract.
What did you just say? Peter, are you gay?
When your husband of over 16 years suddenly comes home and announces he's gay, you might just have a heart attack. But Lois weighed the pros and cons. A gay Peter was clean, a great cook, even helped out the kids with their assignments. Didn't seem like a bad deal. But then she soon realized there were other meals that she wanted to eat but wouldn't be served anymore. That's where she lost it.
Have some fun.
Lois, I'm gay.
Yeah, wait a minute, you mean we can't have...
No.
Peter, we're married.
Peter, fully gay now, even got a whole new boyfriend and left Lois to start a new life. But turns out the effects of the experiment weren't permanent. But it couldn't have happened at a worse or best possible moment, depending on which side you're looking at it from.
Holy crap!
So we're just like never gonna talk about this again?
That's right, sweetie.
While on the subject of butt-related activities, nothing is beating Peter's time working as a telemarketer for a specific target audience.
Hello? Sorry, wrong number. And how are you today, sir?
What a unique prospective clientele. It would be a travesty to my brain cells trying to decipher how he landed this job in the first place. Submitting a box full of all of his farts to show that he's had a good experience in the butt department? Maybe. I don't know what that means. You want to know the wildest part? Making farts has been a job he has officially done.
There you go.
I'm in the wrong business. His experience in that niche also extended to when he was a salesman for other butt-associated endeavors.
Butt scratcher! Butt scratcher! Get your butt scratcher here!
Butt scratcher!
Butt scratcher!
I gotta say, his resume as a salesman is pretty much stacked. Peter has worked as a door-to-door salesman with the most idiotic kind you would ever meet.
Thing can pick up anything. Here's a little demonstration. I'll pour some wine, rub in some feces, and to top it off, some mustard mixed with feces. Tough stain, right?
Oh, crap, I forgot the vacuum.
And if not the most idiotic individual, also the most oddly suspicious one you'll ever meet.
Hey, you want to buy some candy bars so we can get some new uniforms for our baseball team?
Where'd you get those candy bars?
And if we move away from candies and door-to-door selling just a little bit, he's also worked at stores. Peter has also worked at Burger King. But don't panic, he wasn't in charge of flipping the burgers or anything.
I work at Burger King making flamboyant Whoppers. I wear paper hats. Would you like an apple pie with that?
He's too much of an idiot to work the register, so I'm gonna assume he's the resident idiot. Every Burger King has one. And to even top it off, he's been a full-time shop attendant at a grocery store.
What do you got that's fresh?
Well, I got a teenage son at home. What a mouth on that kid.
That's it! You have ruined groceries for me. Get the hell out of my store, you imbecile.
I don't know what drove Lois more mad, Peter being there or the nonsense bell ringing. I wouldn't be mad though if you hit that subscribe button. Someone give me a raise. Now, I don't know how Peter does it, but in a country that still has a significant unemployment rate, he should really host a class on how he's landing these jobs. Look at him even trying to manage his time so he makes it for a shift at the diner.
Can I get 2 eggs scrambled on toast?
Sure thing, honey. Adam and Eve on a raft, wreck 'em.
I'd like a hot dog with ketchup and some Jell-O, please.
Paint a Bow Wow red and a side of nervous pudding.
Can I use your bathroom?
Got a telephone pole heading to the swimming holes.
And there's also when he sadly couldn't make it for his shift at another restaurant because he was grounded.
We heard someone has a birthday. H!
Yeah, that's enough. No one ever talks about the awkwardness of sitting around and smiling while people sing you happy birthday. Now imagine having to sit through a full clapping session that was spelling each letter. Oh, your head would explode. Mine already did. And that reminds me of Peter's side hustle was a bomb diffuser.
Green is good, and green is good, and red is good, and yellow is good, and clip whatever you want.
I don't know which bomb school he attended, but it's either he demands a full refund or he goes right back there to take that class all over again. Where would he even find the time for that, though, when he's working all these other jobs on the side? This man is a true jack of all trades, because how do you even explain that he also runs a carpet cleaning company for a specific clientele?
Lesbians have regular...
Can you help me plug the hole in this dike? Hey, help me fix this gash.
Somebody's been having scissor fights on this thing.
Nailing 3 gigs in one day has to be a record. And just so you know, if you order an Uber, there's a chance Peter may be your driver. Don't get mad at him. It'll be better to take up your complaints to the people that hired him.
I'd like to be an Uber driver.
Okay, sure. Welcome aboard.
Don't I need to fill out a form?
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
Wait a minute. If Peter's the one asking the interviewer if he needs to fill out a form, then you already know this hiring process is totally screwed up.
Here you go.
Yeah, none of this really matters. All I need to know is, do you have a car, a phone, and a face?
But I am quick to anger.
Okay, great. You, sir, are officially an Uber driver.
I don't even need to play a clip for you to know how this ranks as one of the top 10 worst hires of all time. A person who is a road hazard by himself is somehow allowed to get behind the steering wheel, but that still is not as bad as when Peter Griffin was working as a cop. No matter the occasion, 2 things you never want to do are respond to spam messages offering free Bitcoin and giving Peter a police uniform, but nobody ever listens to me. In the episode Barely Legal, Mayor Adam West sent the entire Quahog Police Department to Cartagena, Colombia, but Joe was the only one left behind. That meant there was only 1 cop available in Quahog. That's a workload that'll cripple any officer. No offense, Joe.
Hey, you guys, we should help Joe out. We could be cops, right, Joe?
Well, we have started an emergency training program at the police academy, but I'm not sure that you're cut out for the job.
Come on, we'll be great cops.
Since there weren't any other candidates lining up to volunteer for the job, Joe had to agree. Peter managed to pass his training at the academy, and the proud officer of the law went straight home to share the news with his darling wife.
Keep your eyes on the eggs, ma'am.
Yes, officer.
Oh my God, Lois, I hit you.
I know. Now stick your finger in there and twist it.
This is not part of your job description as an officer, man. But that was not his only role as a uniformed officer. In the episode A Cop and a Half-Wit, he also had another go as a police officer. Peter had car trouble and had Joe come give him a ride. But as they were rolling through the streets, a call came in that some people were working in the footsteps of Pablo Escobar, except with worse branding, fewer yachts, and a suspicious amount of pharmacy drugs. And so Joe had to go do his actual job, but he went there with Peter.
Reach for the stars.
I think he's telling us to follow our dreams.
Where are the drugs?
There's no drugs here, pig.
Well, that looked awesome, but it's the best performance you'll ever see from Peter as a crime fighter. Joe's superiors were so impressed, they wanted them both to team up.
It's hard to believe you did that all by yourself.
Did it all by myself. I did. My little lonesome, says I.
Oh, so Joe took all the credit for himself. I didn't think he had it in him. Since he wasn't going to sabotage his promotion, Joe had no other option than to keep using Peter up to clean the streets. Their success rate was just that good. And somehow this is not Peter's only other time in the Law and Order department. My man has been a sheriff with just the perfect job description.
You just hang out here, eat some pie, and get drunk.
Wait, hold on a second. Pie? Drunk? You got yourself a sheriff.
Boy, it's so quiet around here.
If Peter needed a personal recommendation letter for this job, I would happily write one for him. But let's rewind a bit. How'd he land the job in the first place? So Chris had accidentally stumbled onto some robbers fresh off a store heist, and the police brought him in to ID them in a lineup. Simple job, until Peter shows up and completely detonates the process.
Wait a sec, you know what? I think I got a picture of him somewhere. Here you go. Yeah, you can go ahead and hang on to that. I got a ton of them at home.
Peter has never met a secret he didn't immediately overshare. The robber breaks loose, swears revenge on Chris, and they run away to the little town of Bumblescum. Unless you're a Nepo baby, a new town means a new job, and that's how Peter became the new sheriff in town.
Brian, you're drunk. You're drunk. Give me your keys.
Hey, this was exactly the job description, but it was finally time for Peter to do actual sheriff work. The criminal hell-bent on taking out Chris, the snitch, somehow tracks down their new address and travels all the way out to finish the job. If only Peter could finish him off first. How do you forget to load your own gun on your way to take out an armed criminal? Shouldn't that be like Sheriff 101? So maybe being an officer of the law wasn't Peter's calling, but if we're talking about a job that's best suited for his talents, I gotta tell you, it doesn't get much better than when he became president for people like him. And no, I did not mean people like him as a slur. I'm talking about the time Peter can no longer stand back and watch his kind being called out and treated like third-class citizens, so he pulled together a club for all of them.
By establishing the National Association for the Advancement of Fat People.
A Fat People Association isn't even a bad idea, but the members of his organization look like they need something more urgent than a bunch of meetings.
I'd like to get... we're stuck. You know what? Maybe everyone should sit down.
They look like they're a couple of heavy breaths away from a heart attack. What goes on in a Fat People Association meeting anyway?
Okay, that's better. Welcome, everybody, to the... snacks are best saved for later.
No exaggeration, we get treated to almost an entire minute of heavy breathing and farting, then everyone goes home. Peter didn't even get a chance to be bad at his job this time. Still on the topic of being fat, this also led Peter down another career path. In the episode Fish Out of Water, the man of the house started comparing his size to that of the house. He got so fat, a literal forklift had to be brought in to get him moving, and this was how he spotted real men at work.
I have an announcement. I am gonna drop this weight and rejoin the workforce. I have decided to become a professional fisherman.
It's not about admiring how fishing is the manliest task out there. The bigger concern is that if you step into a boat, that thing would drop straight to the bottom of the sea. But Peter was determined to catch as many fishies out there in the sea as possible, so he took out a loan of $50K to get a boat. But not to worry, he was going to rake in so much money from his fishing, people were going to suspect he was in cahoots with Aquaman or something.
I like your face. We don't need any more fishermen crowding up this wharf.
Fine, Hennessy. You want an enemy? You got one.
Fine.
So his fellow fishermen did not welcome the new competition. They were not only trying to sabotage where he fished, but even the little he managed to catch and sell also had to face another kind of sabotage.
Wow, so how do you do it?
Well, first I hang the old worm out there, so I jerk them around a little. They fight for a while, and then they just lay back and accept it.
How about we get together later?
But that was not his only fishing time. He took to the waters again in the episode The Perfect Castaway. Lois could not deal with her broke husband being unable to provide for the family. She was not buying the excuse that there were simply no fish left in the sea. Since a man has to do what a man has to do, Peter was willing to risk going to whatever lengths it took to get fish.
No one has ever come back, I guess would be the central theme of what I'm trying to get across here.
Pelican's Reef, huh? Then that's where I'll go.
Peter really should have listened to Seamus, but apparently winning a fart contest was all the qualification he needed to face the challenge. So he gathered his friends, they headed to Pelican Reef to fish, and fish did they find.
That's a hell of a catch, Peter.
Guys, this is great. Not only will I be able to put food on the table and pay all my bills,
but life really happens fast. One minute you're fishing, the next minute you're floating on a stall stranded on a deserted island and presumed dead by everyone back home.
You bastard! You have food?
I don't know.
Give me that!
They stayed on an island for who knows how many months, and that kind of isolation really does things to your mind. Because the guys were not just out of food, they were completely out of their minds. But that madness led to their rescue. Sort of.
And if you look off the left side of the ship, you'll see a bunch of homosexuals.
After this event, nothing is going to take him within 2 feet of a fish for any reason. Oh, who am I kidding? He still did other jobs in the fish niche. He worked as the most annoying monger imaginable at the fish market.
What's good here?
It's all good.
What's the freshest?
It's all fresh.
How about the halibut? Is it gamey? I mean, is it fishy?
It's all fish.
Peter should never own his own shop. Case in point, the episode Baking Bad. Peter tasted one of Lois's cookies, and for the first time ever, he did the most supportive husband thing in the world to do.
Oh, you made these?
Yeah, I found one one of my grandmother's old recipes, so I thought I'd make a special batch for the blood drive.
Well, I'm glad you did. These cookies are amazing. They're even tastier than Connie Britton's hair.
Let's go back to the cookie thing. Peter compliments Lois's cookies and even goes as far as saying that they could open a cookie store together, but to finance a cookie business, you'll need money. They got a bank loan, set up the business, and called it Peter's Wife's Cookies. Kinda bad name aside, that's what an adorable and kind husband does, helping his wife get the success that she wants.
Try a little sample. Oh, so bad.
Sure. You gonna buy a cookie this time?
Oh, I better just stick with the sample.
I agree. It's nice to see that the customer isn't always right. But the business wasn't picking up as well as they would have loved it to. Don't take it as a judgment on their wife's cookies, though. What matters is that you love them, okay? Or, hear me out, you could take Quagmire's advice and spice things up.
Saying sells. Trust me, you get a few hotties in that cookie shop of yours, I bet your sales will go up.
Okay, let's see how that goes.
What the hell? Peter, what did you do?
You may have been out of line there, but on the bright side, it worked. Sorry, Lois. I know you wanted your customers to only be there for your cookies and not the side distractions of ladies in bikinis, but Peter sees how well the business is doing with the ladies and decides to go all in. From a cookie store to a strip club, in some ways they're not so different if you think about it. It's all about the branding. But we're just getting started. He's had multiple jobs running restaurants, like in the episode No Meals on Wheels. Peter and Lois found an old coin under their carpet, and I'll tell you for a fact that's how generational wealth is discovered. They sell the coin, and with the money, Peter and Lois decide to live out their dream of owning their own restaurant. But running a restaurant is work, and it wasn't work Peter was expecting.
You got tables for 30?
Turns out, Peter has a problem with a restaurant full of disabled people, and Joe is just trying to be a good buddy, too. Peter never gets his head on straight, so overnight he came up with a whole new company policy.
We have a new policy. Can't you read the sign?
Peter, what the hell is that all about?
It's a message, Joe.
Geez, talk about a choosy beggar. He wasn't even getting any business before Joe and his buddies showed up. But Joe wasn't going to take that lying sitting down. He had his own way of fighting back against discrimination.
Men, form up Crippletron!
Whatever the show writers were on when they wrote this, I want some of it. Peter's business ends up getting destroyed by Crippletron, by the way. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this was not the only time Peter tried the food service business. He's been a chef on a cooking show with Quagmire.
Oh boy, spices. Right here, I'm using cloves. Of course, most people associate mince pie with Christmas.
Why'd you think he was going to be good at it? Where he really got to show his commitment to food was when he set up his own food truck. And this was all because Lois had banned any junk food under her roof, but that was enough wiggle room for Peter to find his way around.
Is my new food truck, specializing in all the delicious, unhealthy foods that you won't let me eat.
No one said anything about him cooking in the car. Now he made his own junk food, and the aroma was just so good, it drew in people that were interested, and that was enough for Peter to start a food truck business.
It's expensive.
Yes, sir. Everything's very expensive because you're paying for it on an iPad.
The business was successful, all right. A little too successful, but that's a story for another video. Let's talk about when Peter had to handle a multi-billion-dollar empire now. In the episode Business Guy, Peter learns that Carter never had a bachelor party, but this is not the kind of information Peter should be getting, because he decides to step in and give Carter the bachelor party he never had and the time of his life.
All right. Oh!
Oh my God!
I'm having a heart attack! You ought to know by now!
By getting the time of his life from the exotic dancer, Carter was about to lose his. But with Carter in a coma, someone had got to run his billion-dollar industry. Originally, Carter assigned the role to Lois, but she just didn't think that she was a fit for it. Not a problem, though, because Peter, the business guy, was ready to step in.
Daddy's company. He spent his whole life building it from the ground up. And you don't know anything about running a big business.
Just trust your husband, Lois. Yes, the stakes are high, but no one is more capable of running it right into the ground.
We are going to turn this company around.
But sir, the company's doing fine.
We need a complete overhaul. Gentlemen, you're all fired.
It's not just that he fired him, it's the fact that he replaced them with his friends, Quagmire, Morton, Bryan. Now that's the kind of nepotism I'm all up for. Of course, things only went worse from there, though. Here's the thing. If Peter wanted to be a big shot so bad, he definitely got his chance when he secured a job on a Broadway show.
Man, I haven't had this much fun since I was in that Broadway show. I'm a Wolverine, and my hatred keeps me warm. A Wolverine, so you Russians best be warned. Shooting commies, drinking deer blood, peeing in the radiator. Look up there, here's a really angry Russian helicopter.
That was a far better job than when he had to work as a personal grocery shopper for Jackie Harry.
Am I reading this right? You need a pallet of chocolate-covered pretzels. Where the hell am I supposed to... what is this? A drum of grape jam? Is that... what is it? Is that like a drum like they ship oil in? Is that... look at this one. A desk of Cheez-Its. A desk... Where are you getting these units of measurement from?
Mary.
That is so funny. Okay, you say right here, big funny gal. I'll be right back with... a hammock of cake.
Probably thought I was done listing celebrities he's worked for, right? No, Peter also had a job working for Christina Aguilera as her manager.
Okay, let me just go ahead and stop you right there. You sound terrible.
Somehow, this didn't mark the end of his work in the music industry. It extends to other areas as well, and my man did make a killing from it. In the episode Def Jams, he and his friends started a podcast, but that did not work out too well.
How was that?
I know, Cleveland, you ruined the whole podcast.
Yeah, if I wanted to hear a black guy ramble like a lunatic, I'd watch Family Feud.
To cut away from that boring talk, Peter made a DJ mix and someone spotted the sound and identified real talent. And just like that, Peter got a huge gig to be a DJ.
Oh, you're a DJ. That's perfect. I own a nightclub for cocaine people and Armenians. I need noise. You available?
How would anyone even vibe to that? Maybe the problem might be my ears. Nope, actually, I refuse to admit any wrongdoing or anything wrong with myself.
Dab me up.
There it is. See, joke's on you, Peter, because guess who attended a rehearsal and woke up to the beautiful sound of silence?
Are you even listening to me? You've got to stop coming home so late if you can't get up in the morning, and...
Yep, his music was so loud and terrible it made him deaf. Enough of the silly jokes, let's look at Peter in some responsible roles like the academic field. He's had a job teaching money management to drug users.
Have as many kids as you can, because that makes it more likely that one of those kids will grow up and make it big in Hollywood. Then who's paying the bills, huh? Hollywood kid. Class dismissed.
You can disagree with the messenger all you want, but that is some golden advice right there. Who knows? It might just be how we get the next Timothée Chalamet. His academic career also includes being a ninja cop. Didn't know we had those, but okay.
So that's how I became Quahog's first ninja cop. Questions?
Yes, Mr.
Officer Hiya.
Did you park in the handicap spot?
Ninjas don't have cars.
Well, it's getting towed.
Oh no, my Chevy Cruze!
Speaking of schools, there was also the time he ran for school board president and won, but the problem was that his opponent was his wife, and Peter was more than ready to play dirty.
Paid for by the Peter Griffin for School Board President Committee. Sorry, Lois.
His major work in the educational field, though, would be when he became a temp principal. In the episode The Peter Principal, Shepard suffered a major breakdown during his divorce and couldn't really function as the principal anymore. So the school board stepped in and asked a parent to volunteer. That request for a volunteer should have come with a disclaimer that Peter was not included because there's no way that fricker counts as a parent. But unfortunately, they did not do that.
What? No way. I'm not having my dad be the principal. How embarrassing.
At first, Meg was pretty worried, but Peter was about to prove her wrong. As the principal, all her bullies got put in the right place.
What are you gonna do about it?
I'll knock your teeth down your throat, bastard.
Wow, doing something good for your daughter in season 15? That's unheard of. But for Meg, this was just an opportunity to get her revenge on every single soul that had ever wronged her in the school ever. So she manipulates her dad like a puppet to run the school the exact way she wanted.
Jeff Banfield, I'd like you to please come down here, take your pants off, and sit.
Things got way out of hand, to say the least. But thankfully, the school board stepped in and brought back Principal Shepard. But Peter being in charge of a school is almost as crazy as ruling your own country. And of course, Peter's basically been there, done that. It's not every day you get to ask for permits to dig a pool for your family and realize your house does not exist in the listed lands of not just Spooner Street, Quahog, but the fracking United States of America. But Peter won the lottery on that one.
I've been living at 31 Spooner Street for 12 years.
You're not even part of these United States.
For Peter, this information meant that he was no longer under the law of the United States, so he could do whatever, like setting up his own country and mounting his flag.
From this day forth, this territory will be known as Pretoria.
Peter was so serious about flying his own flag, he decided to do the next thing, finding his allies. But the only people that were sending their love and support to him were of a questionable stock.
Nobody's on our side.
Are you nuts? Look at all these telegrams.
Kudos to Peter, though. He managed to start his own country, run it for a week or so, and check that off his bucket list before the U.S. government stepped in. But another time he got a shot at being president was when his company was involved in a hostile takeover. Peter's first full-time job was working at the Happy-Go-Lucky Toy Factory. But he should have been fired from that job since the first month because this was him on a regular day of work.
Peter! What? Are you sleeping on the job?
No, there's a bug in my eye and I'm trying to suffocate him.
Mr. Weed still let him have his job after that, but when he was finally willing to let him go was when Peter lied just so he could skip work and go watch a football game. But when you make such an excuse at work, you really want to make sure that your boss is not attending that very same game. Peter didn't get that memo.
Hi, Mr. Weed.
Well, it seems you've made a full recovery.
That plane crash I told you about? It turned out to be gas.
Aha, liar.
By the time he got into work the next day, ready to beg and lie his way out of the situation, it turned out the company had been taken over by El Dorado. The problem with El Dorado, though, was the hidden agenda behind the toys they made.
They'll never realize we're using those toys to get children addicted to our company's cigarettes.
Lois was losing her mind about how her husband could continue to work at such a place without calling them out, so Peter went into work to let the board know that, hey, whatever you want to do, smoke or vape or not, just keep the kids away from it. But that meeting ended with him getting a new job.
Would you really be the president of a company that didn't care about kids?
Oh, wow. Imagine me president.
He actually did a good job as president. Too bad that meant propping up an evil cigarette company. Since he's had experience from his time at the toy factory, Peter's also done some work as a mall Santa. This happened when they headed to the mall, but there was a long queue of people waiting for Santa. No Santa in sight. A one look at Peter should have you know that his body type was just suited for the role.
Hey, you're a hefty guy. Would you mind putting on the suit and playing Santa? I'd pay you for your time.
All right, fine.
Peter suited up all right and fitted just perfectly, but then he got to learn of the extra benefits that come with being Santa.
Anything for Santa.
Anything? Holy crap, this is awesome. I'm Santa Claus. In this suit, I'm like a god.
A god? That was all Peter needed to believe to start squeezing that scam dry. From getting free food and drinks, he might as well just get away with everything else.
Hey, what the hell's going on?
Oh, Santa, I'm sorry. I didn't realize this was your car.
That's right. Now crumple up that ticket.
Next Christmas, fellas, you know what to do. I'm not going to spell it out for you. Peter kept this going for as long as he could. He didn't even care when he met the real Santa.
Wearing that suit, or else I will put you at the top of my naughty list.
Now that I think about it, kids these days might actually talk back at Santa if they ran into him. But since Peter's delivered gift says Santa, his next job was a bit of a downgrade, being the toy.
Goes the weasel.
Is that poor kid still breathing? I think the most hilarious thing about Peter's jobs is how they have no relation to each other whatsoever. HR would have a migraine trying to understand how this same guy also ended up as a sumo wrestler.
So, what exactly would you say qualifies you to work as a sumo wrestler?
Oh, are you kidding? I'm a born athlete.
What could be the backstory behind that? They don't tell us, so I'm not even gonna bother. When he ventured into science, though, he turned into one of those mad, creepy scientists that should probably have all their certificates revoked for breaching every known ethical code known to man.
Peter?
Yes? Is this about my work?
Hi, I have a styrofoam cooler with weird tape on it.
Ah, that must be the cat brains and baby bodies.
Are you making people?
He'll be flattered you called him that.
You know what's crazy? In the medical field, he doesn't have a single certification but managed to pull off being a nurse anyway.
So what's your problem?
Okay, so I was at home watching Mrs. Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty driven show, and it kind of gets me going.
You shouldn't have let Peter convince him to start talking, but hold up. What's that tea Quagmire spilling? Is that the stuff he gets into when he isn't on screen?
So I'm pretty revved up, and I decide to, you know.
Sure.
And I don't have a prayer of finishing unless I kick it up a few notches, like weird notches.
Uh-huh.
You know what? No, I don't want to know the rest of that. Okay, that was Peter doing nursing. Surely he couldn't have gotten away with it if he tried it as a doctor.
And a griffin never knows when to stop. Clear. Clear.
Oh, you saved my life, Doctor.
Clear.
One person just needs to bring a class action lawsuit against Peter, or any workplace that employed him for that matter, and they'll be set for life. And someone did just that. So Peter bought an erotic book, but 2 pages in, he was disappointed. So Peter decides to publish his own erotica, and it actually became a bestseller. Not like that bar is hard to reach these days. He even had Betty White read the ebook, and people were hooked.
Welcome to Peterotica on tape. I'm Betty White reading The Hot Chick Who Was Italian, or maybe some kind of Spanish, by Peter Griffin.
Oh yeah, getting hot in here. I better take my shirt off.
That accident was totally on you, man. But the young man decided to sue Carter because Carter was the publisher, and he won that case from writing. Peter's even tried creating his own comic in the daily newspaper.
Back. I'm published. Check it out. I call my comic For Pete's Sake.
Since Peter tried his hand at writing and sketching, let's take a look at other times he's also got a little more in touch with his artistic side. We're gonna tell you right now, he's certainly not the type of artist you invite to your kids' parties to do face painting.
There you go, Timmy.
Sir, you're gonna have to leave. You're just drawing with a Sharpie on children's faces.
Yeah, not surprised at all. The other time he tried to put his artistic skills into good use was when he was a sketch artist for the police.
Now, did you get a look at the man who assaulted you?
I did.
Okay, can I get a description?
Yeah, he was probably around 5'9", 5'10".
Which is it, 5'9" or 5'10"?
I'd say 5'10".
Okay, we'll go 5'9" and a half. And now, how old was he?
Late 30s, maybe 37. I don't know, anywhere between 35 and 40.
Okay, well, let's say 37. How about ethnicity?
Yeah, he was Asian American.
Asian American. We talking Korean? We talking Thai? We talking Vietnamese?
Maybe Korean. Could have been Japanese, but I think Korean.
I know it may sound like he's just asking irrelevant questions, but it seems like he may be onto something here.
Characteristics. Any marks, piercings?
He may have had a tattoo.
He may have had a tattoo? Did have a tattoo? Which one was it?
I don't know. It all happened so fast.
You know what? It's fine. I have a preliminary sketch here. Is this the man who assaulted you?
My man was actually right on with that sketch. When Chris got robbed much later, the mugger was, well...
Can this day get any more stressful?
Those cops better tender an apology to Peter's stat. His artistic side is also beyond just drawing. It's musically inclined as well. He has a side hustle doing part-time violin work at restaurants.
Give me money, give me money, give me money.
You're not getting that tip, bro. Put the violin down. But when he took the violin job seriously was in the episode The Finer Strings. While attending a high school talent show, Peter meets real talent for the first time in life and was just amazed, like seeing a young Mozart at work.
Oh my God. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard.
That fired him up, and he immediately set up the guys with the task of learning musical instruments. But this is Peter we're talking about. You know he's just gonna suck.
Peter, what note are you playing?
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar. Note?
Peter, you're out of the group.
What? Well, fine. Screw you guys.
See what I meant? After the guys kicked him out of the group for not taking it seriously, Peter found the best way to learn a musical instrument. Ask an older Asian man.
I'm trying.
Try harder. Play better.
Ah! Is somebody making a Cuban sandwich?
Criticize his method all you want, but it actually worked. Peter went to the guys and proved to them he was ready to rejoin the group. They showed up for the wedding gig, everything was set, and it was their turn to play, and boy was Peter excellent. He really showed them. But being trained by Mr. Washeed permanently scarred him. My man no longer wanted to touch a violin again. It seems like his musical talents always had to come at a cost, and as it turns out, Peter's also an excellent pianist, on one condition.
I think we found his muse.
Oh my God, you can only play the piano when you're drunk.
This is like being told you're Spider-Man except you're uncoordinated, get nauseous when you swing, and constantly have to take the suit off to go pee. I'd still take it though. Here's one job he definitely wasn't allowed to be drunk for. The time he was a sneeze guard.
Take it outside, lady.
But Lois didn't mind Peter's condition. If being drunk was the only time he could be Beethoven, then she was going to replace the blood in his veins with liquor, as long as it meant that she won the piano competition.
Here's a little something for good luck.
She had Peter so drunk that he almost lost all of his brain cells, but then again, he would have still lost them anyway, so at least for once, Lois could use his drinking to her advantage. He's not just a whiz on the piano either, he conducts as well.
And a 1 and a 2. No, the altos were early.
Yeah, I don't blame Peter for that one. He doesn't even need the Sand People to make good music. Peter was once in a 4-Peter quartet, you know. Why was that kind of good, though? Peter was made for music. Guess that's why he was such a hit when he started a music duo with Quagmire.
You haven't, then I think you should.
Everybody, come along with us.
Lois was not cool with this. She asked him to choose between music or her, but that was a no-brainer for Peter.
Peter, you can't go away for 2 months now. You'll miss Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to choose between music and family.
If I choose family, does it have to be this family?
Yes, Peter, this family. So make your choice.
Very well. This scavenger hunt will provide you with my answer.
Another job that Lois certainly didn't approve of was when Peter got fired and needed to make money quick.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Peter, get in the car.
Okay, but it'll cost you.
I said get in the car. What's a Cleveland steamer?
Over 20 years since that episode aired, and what I still want to know till date, what the hell is a Cleveland steamer? Later in that episode, Peter settled on being a knight in the fracking 2000s.
I was saved from that moment on. I knew someday I wanted to be a knight like him.
Yeah, I had dreams of being an astronaut too, but look at me now. The closest I ever got to space was when my ex asked for it. But kudos to Peter, though. He did get to live out his dream. Sorry, I couldn't hold together for that one.
Oh my God, I'm gonna die.
To the owner of a yellow Hyundai, your car is being towed.
What?
But let's go back to Peter's job in the pleasure-serving business. In the episode American Gigolo, Peter climbed up the ranks. Instead of being a hooker, he became a pimp, and the hooker he was in charge of was none other than Quagmire. Big shocker there. He worked Quagmire to the point of breaking him down, but that didn't matter to good old Petey. There was a long line of clients that still needed to be satisfied.
Shopping for groceries is what I say instead of, do you want to pay me?
Doing this to your own friend is just another level of crazy. Then there was the time he became a psychic, taking advantage of gullible strangers.
Hold on. I'm sensing something psychic. Ma'am, did you have a female relative who's passed on to the other side named,
Polly?
Polly! I said it first!
That was amazing!
Somehow he kept his fraud going. The police actually got him to investigate a case, and that's when it all blew up in his face. Oh, that wasn't a metaphor. It actually did blow up in his face.
I will now use my psychic powers to seek help from beyond. You handling this case?
Yeah.
Then what's the name of the guy?
Who?
The guy we're looking for.
Who?
The guy who's buried.
Who?
The guy with a bomb.
Who?
What streets he live on?
First.
Who would have thought? A completely unrelated note, here's Peter doing a pretty good job as an Olympic gymnast.
Ah!
You did it, Peter.
Why'd you shoot me?
Because I'm weird, creepy coach.
Is this a real thing? Now I want to know. This next job, however, is part of a completely outdated joke.
What are you talking about? I'm making the world a better place. Like when I was the Instagram police. Sorry, lady, gotta crop the church. I will take this and cut away complete.
I can assure you that Instagram is not policing these posts anymore. You'd be surprised what files are on there. Or so they tell me. Anyway, now let's talk about the time Peter decided to start his own religion, the Church of the Fonz.
Yea, and did Fonzie downstairs cometh from his apartment above the garage. And yea, for I am holy, befriendeth I will Styx Downey, the only Negro in the state of Wisconsin. Amen.
Amen.
This was actually a success. Peter even had someone like Quagmire coming in for confession.
Reverend Peter, I gotta talk to you. Last night I had with a teenage blonde and her mother.
Well, that's quite a story, Quagmire, but my church doesn't have confession, so there's really no reason for you to tell me.
Are you kidding? I'm telling everybody. Giggity-goo-ga!
Peter's not even a little surprised. He knows what this is capable of. But that seemed to be a pretty easy job, unlike when he had to be a farmer.
Peter, what are you doing?
Well, Lois, a big part of owning a farm is crossing a road very slowly with cows.
Yeah, this long into the video, and now we're talking about him being a farmer. This dude has had so many jobs. Farming didn't work out so well, though, but right in the basement of the farmhouse was the next best thing, a meth lab.
This meth lab is our family's best chance to make meth in a lab. Don't you see? This lab is just what we need to get back on our feet.
Protest all you want, Skyler. What matters is that Walter White would be proud. This is how you build a drug empire that most cartels would be envious of.
Now, this is the money I owe Peter. I want you to take it back to him. Do you understand?
You should never run away with a drug dealer's money. Didn't Breaking Bad or The Godfather teach you anything? By the way, that was one of Peter's jobs, being Godfather for the mob.
From now on, you eat on the house. You will be treated with the utmost respect, Godfather.
Grazie. Now, please name the menu item I ordered after me.
The dinosaur chicken tenders?
All right, we'll find something else. Thank you very much.
But away from the criminal life, Peter has worked in more polished roles, like when he was a Hollywood agent for Tom Tucker.
And we need an actor for a small role that shoots tomorrow.
This is your man.
That's great. He's got just the look we're after. Show up here at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Now that's a great agent. Peter had no loyalty, though. The moment he saw the next big celeb he could work for, he dumped Tom.
All right, then let's negotiate. We want everything.
We'll give you nothing.
We want something.
Deal.
Never trust anyone in Hollywood. But Tom should have learned to not trust Peter from his last involvement with the guy. I'm talking about when Peter had landed a gig at Channel 5 News where he hosted a rant segment called What Really Grinds My Gears. It's basically Peter yelling on TV about whatever crawled into his cereal that day.
Grinds my gears. Lindsay Lohan with all those little outfits. Eh? This Lindsay Lohan. Half naked with your little outfits. You know? You're up there jumping around there on stage. And I'm just sitting here with my beer. So, what do you want? You know, what am I supposed to do? You know, are we gonna go out? Is that what you're trying to...
Somehow the folks at home ate it all up. Peter became a whole TV sensation, and suddenly he's the face of the news. Tom Tucker, who'd been holding that desk together for years, completely got eclipsed, and he didn't like that too much.
Comics. Hey! Those X-ray specs you used to buy out of the... Hey! Screw up! I save up forever to buy these things, and when I finally get them yesterday, I couldn't see the inside of my son's belly. Blah! 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 Vanilla wafer, because I told him I wanted it. See, I wanted to see if he...
Yeah, Tom got fired after that. Here's a lesson, fellas. Don't underestimate Peter when it comes to the big screens. That'll be a terrible mistake. He's quite a huge thing over there. Peter somehow landed the gig where he was put in charge of hosting a kids' TV show.
Kids, it's story time here on Petey's Funhouse. Today's story is Lesbian Butts in 80s Jeans. Oh, that's a classic.
And I know I sound like a broken record at this point, but for the love of frickery, keep Peter far away from everything involving kids. Peter didn't just do shows, he was a whole TV producer at one point. In the episode PTV, Peter just about had it with the annoying censorship that was going on TV, but instead of complaining about it, he decided to fix the problem himself.
Hi there, I'm Peter Griffin, and you're watching PTV, where you get to watch your favorite shows as nature intended them, with all the violence, swearing, and farts intact. Like the episode of All in the Family, where Archie got the Jeffersons to move.
This is what TV should be all about, reminding you why you should be careful about having your kids watch TV unsupervised.
But I will not have it happening in my own house.
Lois, there is absolutely nothing inappropriate about my programming.
Hi there, and welcome to the Peter Griffin Side Boob Hour. Look at that side boob. Check out this side boob. How about that side boob? Well, it shouldn't, because that's my side boob.
Pretty soon the FCC showed up and shut down Peter's TV, pretty justifiably so, to be honest. But beyond being a producer, as far as Peter's work in the media and big screens go, he's been a reality TV actor. So in the episode 15 Minutes of Shame, Meg was tired of her family, especially Peter embarrassing her with his stupidity every time. It was the kind of embarrassment that drove her to a talk show to discuss it on live TV.
Love you, and what does that say into me? Oh, go yourself, Diane.
Do you think there might be any validity to what Meg is feeling?
What?
Okay, time out.
Yeah, that plan backfired. Not only did they show their embarrassing selves there, but the family also got their own reality show, The Real Live Griffins.
Your father signed a contract, and now we're going to be on TV for the next 6 months.
How could you do this? You turned my life into the 24-hour loser channel.
You, cameraman!
Why keep up with the Kardashians when you can watch Keeping Up with the Griffins? But perhaps when it comes to TV, the biggest job of all time that Peter has done would be the fact that he is somehow an actor, and Peter Griffin is the role he plays for Family Guy. Sounds weird, I know, but the show is a show within a show, apparently.
That was Peter's line. Where's Peter?
Sorry, I was in my trailer eating fancy nuts and smoking.
But Peter doesn't just stay an actor, he also likes to contribute in the writer's room. That means he probably dictates how many farts he gets to let out per episode.
Peter likes to stay involved in the writing process.
All right, butthorns, which one of you idiots wrote this script?
I did.
And another thing, I read this piece of garbage script.
That's just the cover.
What a dumbo. But look at me, making YouTube videos and still having the guts to laugh at a man who's had his very own TV series.
Give me that purse.
Hey, criminals! Get the puck out of my neighborhood. Go puck yourself. Uh-oh, here come the real cops.
Not a cop, but about as violent as your average hockey player, I guess. Speaking of sports, he's also worked as an announcer, the kind that kills your vibe.
Hey, after the game, keep it here for an all-new Madam Secretary. Madam Secretary faces an international crisis in Pakistan.
And so, from being an unlicensed doctor to a dinosaur walker and even a pimp, Peter's career count lands at an unhinged 110 jobs. That is decades of experience across nearly every profession known and unknown to man, and including several that should have required government approval. And yet he still can't pay his mortgage. Either the economy is cooked, or Peter is. Or both. If you think this list was wild, check out the next video on your screen. It somehow gets even crazier than this. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.